times. You got to cross your T's and dot your I's, and they're not doing that subbing out of the box. Remember, they were offsides late in the fourth quarter against Christopher Newport as well. Wasn't called.
Leahy had a slim window but fired left. Again, the top unit right now, because of the Wong injuries, Bromwell, Strube, Della, Leahy, Haraz, and Ty Keaton. The aforementioned Keaton goes up top. Strube, he fires and scores from way outside, and a quick 2 for Riley Strube.
This guy can really come out of the box, or he can play attack. It doesn't matter. The first goal, I guess you could call it inverted because he started from behind the cage. This time, Ty Keaton gets the screen, and Riley Strube, he can shoot with both hands from the outside, and that is a matchup nightmare for St. Mary's, and we're level at 2.
Riley Strube, one of 7 Seagulls named to the All-CLC first team. Ty Keaton, who gets the assist there, was one of 6 named to the All-Conference second team. Now it's Malampy once again. Early movement on Drake Arisman, the second Fogo for Jason Childs on the Seahawks. Now it's Bromwell and company. Through 6 minutes, even at 2 goals apiece, Connor Haraz at GLE looking for a cutter. Not given much. Drawing the defense of Garrett Broadfjord. Haraz now goes back outside. Bromwell down low, wide open. Keaton scores. The extra pass from Bryce Bromwell is enough to give Ty Keaton the first non-Riley Strube goal of the day for the Seagulls.
I think throughout the season, and even before the season, I think the consensus was that Bryce Bromwell is going to score a lot of goals for this team, and that threat makes St. Mary's go up top and elect to guard him on the step down, but he has one extra wrinkle. He's passing off to Ty Keaton, and that's a great look for Keaton. He's been so big down the stretch for this team. He got so much experience at attack last season, now doing it in the midfield and taking the lead for Salisbury.
Meanwhile, Malampy finally able to outduel Cicerello. Now DeFazio in transition. DeFazio down low. Maybe a quick look for DeFazio if he had shot it. However, he will elect to walk off now. Second line on what had previously been Michael Leahy's group. Now Braden Velasquez fills in there along with Lucas Ingley and Trent Lukovic. Trent Lukovic had a big conference tournament across the 2 games. Had 4 goals after having just 4 all of the regular season. And here is the transfer. Trying to get a feed there to Ingley, but couldn't connect on the pass. Going the other way is Hatfield. Now it's Quinn McLaughlin. Here's Jake Levy. Levy drawing the defense of Johnston. Goes to Joshua Martell, returning from injury, as you mentioned. Player that Jason Childs referred to as almost like the trade deadline acquisition. So now it's Nate Hockrine. Now getting a running start is Price. Jerry Stafford sticking with him. What a developing year it has been for Jerry Stafford, who was already an elite player and is taking it to another level this year. Hockrine trying to get around Johnston. Shoots. Ransom the save. Ground ball still loose. And big Bryce Stevenson able to get to it. Drawing contact in the corner. He's got to find somewhere to go along the goal line. Now DeFazio corrals it. Here go the Seagulls in transition. Mancha, the pass. Now Della will slow things down.
St. Mary's still gets a look on that possession, but the last second stick in the hands gives Ransom more of a chance to make that save. He's off to a good start. He's up to 3 saves, and St. Mary's did not 10-man ride on that clearing attempt.
Keaton makes the pass. Bromwell given a window, and saving from his knees is Cullen McKay. Now quickly the other way. This is the long pole Dunwoody. Pass inside. Whipped around by Aiden Doyle, but wide. Backed up by Declan Horton.
We mentioned Doyle yesterday in practice. He had the knee brace on. He has it here in game action. You see his first step isn't maybe as quick as it was in the beginning of the year. He could have maybe tried to get underneath and charge to the crease with the 6'5" frame. He doesn't do so.
He draws the pole. Mikulski here and just drops the ball. Jacob Mikulski with the found money approach, and he goes up the far sideline. Now into the offensive zone. Again, Salisbury tried to push a look in transition before slowing things down. Ultimately, the Seahawks a good job of getting back and not giving much.
Yeah, Coach Childs talked a lot about the transition defense. He thought it was very sloppy in the first game. They button up there on that transition try. They've done a good job altogether in this first quarter guarding the transition.
Bromwell rainbows up top Keaton. Now Salisbury at the restraining line. Keaton defended by Broadfiore. Now Hatfield defending Haraz. Not good enough. He found Ty Keaton. Beautiful dish from Connor Haraz.
Ty Keaton moving without the ball. The little changeup that goes into the top shelf. I think this is Bromwell that time.
Oh, yeah, correct that. You're right.
Bromwell gets it where you got a timeout on the field, but they forget about Ty Keaton, and he just kind of dunks it in right in front of the net. Salisbury had somewhat of a slow start where they take a penalty, they go down 2-1, but the last three have gone to SU.
Ty Keaton, twice the beneficiary of great passes from Bryce Bromwell. Salisbury leads it 4-2 with 4:56 to go in the first quarter. The NCAA thanks our corporate champions, AT&T, Capital One, and Coca-Cola, and our corporate partners, Buffalo Wild Wings, Buick, Geico, Great Clips, Home Depot, Intuit TurboTax, Invesco, QQQ, LG, Marriott, Nissan, Pizza Hut, Reese's, Ritz, Samsung Galaxy, Unilever, and Wendy's. Their support enhances NCAA championships and the educational and athletic experiences of nearly 500,000 NCAA student athletes. So a good rebound from Salisbury, and again, St. Mary's trying to avoid another slow start, which, as Jason Childs said, has been their Achilles heel this year.
Again, it just comes down to the fact that he thinks that is one of the final steps to getting over the hump of getting past the second round of the tournament. This is their third straight trip to the NCAA tournament, and they've come up short a couple of times. I mentioned in the pregame they lost 10-9 in 2023 to Middlebury. They have the familiarity of the site that they're playing at. The last couple of years they had to go north, pretty north, to play some opponents. So that is something that they benefit from, but it just comes down to the fact that he said you can do whatever you want to try to slow down Salisbury. You could add this, you could try that, but it comes down to players making plays. And they had a rhythm offensively. They've had good looks in this first quarter, but the well's kind of run dry, and if you can't win faceoffs, well, Salisbury is going to pick you apart on this end of the field like they've done so far.
And Cicerello maybe moved a little early there.
It just looks like both Fogos are a little antsy. We've seen early movement from both of them for St. Mary's.
Well, Mateo Cicerello is not dealing with the recent struggles that Blake Malamphy dealt with. In the conference championship game, he was 15-19 versus Penn College, and then 14-23 in the first round game versus Pfeiffer. Bromwell takes an extra second to handle it. Now Keaton streaks down the alley, wide open again, shoots. Did that trickle in? No. Covered up at the very last moment by Cullen McKay.
I don't know. That's one of those where is Jim Berkman going to try a challenge? I don't think so. It doesn't look like it at all.
Now that pass sails behind the back of Hatfield up in the air, and you know John DeFazio is going to win that one every time. The last year won the Division III Player of the Year. This time won the CLC Player of the Year. A chance to win Division III Player of the Year once again.
It's going to be interesting to see where John DeFazio ends up, because he did not get his name called one of the 32 guys in the PLL draft, but on the big boards, he was up there. Could get a tryout in one of the PLL camps upcoming in the later stages of May.
Bromwell missed high, but again, Haraz there to back it up. drawing the defense of Joe Zemansky. Zemansky, the United East Defensive Player of the Year, but that pass is swatted down, not by Zemansky, but by Adam Martin.
Adam Martin, the Eastern Shore product from Kent Island, just in the passing lane, knocking it down. You know, the polls for St. Mary's have been really solid. Martin, we mentioned Zemansky, and Joe Murray, who had a big game in the first round. 5 ground balls, 5 caused turnovers against Pfeiffer.
Martell drawing the defense of the short stick, Mancha. On the outside, Brady Mancha has done a really good job against a lot of quality attackmen, not giving up much. Now it's Hawkrine. And down to Aiden Doyle, trying to get a step. Pass sails over the top of everyone, including Seamus Johnson, who was guarding Keegan Price and out of bounds.
Jerry Stafford is just the hot guy there. He's looking to slide as soon as Doyle turns his back to the cage. And he rushes Doyle and he airmails that pass.
So now Salisbury, 6 seconds to get it over. Bromwell will do so himself. Seagulls looking to keep this strong first quarter going. Bromwell the pass, the step down, the shot rifles off the post from Ryan Della. That was something Salisbury did a lot in the conference championship game against CNU, was clank one off the post.
They hit a lot of iron. I think it was 5 posts, 7 overall in that game.
Got one there. Strube makes up for it on the very next play. Riley Strube, a first quarter hat trick, and the Seagulls lead at 5-2.